Hey guys, so let's talk about Sigma 2845. I am super glad that the brand released some kind of lenses like this F1.8 zoom lens. But let's talk about usability. So we're gonna separate it to two different kind of purposes, right? Because for video we really need to have a little bit like a wider shots. So this one, for example, for photography is like medium shots. For video is more like a close-up, and for example for photography if you're doing like a wide shot, still for video it's kind of like medium, I would say. So we really frame things a little bit wider. So in this case, if you look at this lens 2845, we are kind of losing here on the wide side, because for me this 20 is like a golden focal length, and I like to using this 12 to 24 mostly when I'm going to different kind of rooms. I don't have enough of space. It's very rarely I'm using 12, but like 16, 20, 24 is like normal things for me. So this like 2845 kind of losing here. Next I'm doing like a medium shot and closer shot. Mostly I'm using like a 45, 50 mil, 60 mil. So this is for me like a golden focal length here. So again, this 2845 is kind of in the middle. But I don't see for video like a larger purpose, although it's a little bit different for photography, I can say, because I remember time when I was using like golden trio was 35, 50 and 75. So we can say here that we have this 35 because we have it, because we even have a little bit wider, and we have nearly this 50 and nothing else, nothing more, right? So it's kind of amazing, right? But from other side, if you put for comparison, for example, Tamron 35 to 150, hey, look at this. Hold on, I have to take the turn over here, guys. So look at this here, guys. Maybe we are losing a little bit because we don't have 28, but we have 35, and this is actually very good, kind of wide enough focal length for photography. Really, I was using 35, 50, 75, and was more than enough. So look at this. We have a 35, we have a 50 here, right? With the Sigma, we have a 45. Like a big difference, but it still is a difference, right? And then we have a plenty of more of focal length, because we can jump from 50 to 150. So you have a huge amount of range here that Sigma doesn't have. So we are, as a photographers, we mostly are looking for some kind of like a distance shots to have this like a different kind of perspective, because when focal length is changing, also this image looks a little bit different, right? And it's very nice, comfortable that we can zoom in, take a picture. So it's really, because we are looking for this medium and like a closer shots. So it's really essential to have this kind of, larger focal length. So from 35 to 150, I'm sorry. So from this 35 to 150, you literally cover all your needs. Well, you can add, for example, like 20 millimeters if you are a Sony user, but I think other products also have something similar. You can actually take 20 millimeter fixed lens, right? Like one F.8, and you are set, basically. But really, with 35, 150, you are actually covered all the way. So what is the point of Sigma here? Maybe you will say, okay, but Sigma is 1.8 and Tamron is, for example, from 2 to 2.8. But the crazy part about this Tamron is that Tamron has from 35 to 40 covered this f2 aperture, and f2.2 it covered from 40 to 60 focal length. So to be honest, it's pretty damn bright. It's okay, it's not the same as 1.8, but still is super close. This Tamron is actually covering all your needs from 35 to 150, when the Sigma, of course, I have a little bit brighter, nicer, this aperture f1.8, but it's like really narrow. So I think that Sigma is amazing, and I think that maybe some people will have some purpose, but I think like I'm thinking from my perspective, and I don't see really like a larger purpose. For example, I'm using Tamron 2875 and for video, right? And I say that I prefer to have this around 20, but I always have with me also 12 to 24. I have a F4 here, so if I have to go darker, I have 20mm f1.8. But you can, for example, also have Victrox 60mm f1.8. So with this like 2875 and for example Victrox or this Sony 20mm 1.8, you are set. But with this lens 28-45, not wide enough for video. We have this medium kind of range that should be okay, but it's missing. But I'm not using this range mostly. I'm going mostly to around this 45-50 and then 75 if I want to catch something from the distance. So this Sigma here is kind of losing a point. And in photography, for comparison, if you compare this to Tamron, you are losing this like 7mm focal length, but to be honest, 35 is still wide enough, and Tamron is giving you much more. So in my opinion, if someone is thinking about this Sigma, it's a great lens for sure, but from my perspective, I will never buy this lens. I don't see a purpose of it. But if I would do a lot of photography, definitely I will go with the Tamron 35 to 150. Yeah, guys, so that's all. That's just my thoughts. Just simple video. I cannot find any idea what I can use it for. Of course, I will find a way, but like if I have so many other options and actually this fits my needs, what is this 28-45 for? And it's kind of, if I can even say, okay, it's cool, I will buy it, but it's a huge lens. This is also what I went with Sony because I want something small and compact, and this is quite a big lens here, guys. So if this will be like super small, okay, I will think about this. I will maybe find a use of it, and maybe I will learn to use it. But this big chunky lens, I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. Do you find a use for it somehow? Because for me, it will be unusable, and for video for sure, and with photography, I will have much better output.